You know, when I was in my 30s, I used to look at women in their 50s and 60s and think, blimey, that's old. And now here I am, 65, and feeling more like myself than I ever have. Of course, it didn't happen overnight, but something shifted when I stopped doing things that were draining me, distracting me, or keeping me stuck in a version of myself that didn't feel true anymore. So in this video, I'm sharing 10 things I quit after 55 and how letting them go helped me to feel lighter, more peaceful, and dare I say, a whole lot happier. So if you've been craving more ease, more energy, and just a bit more you-ness in your life, then stick with me, because each one of these quits brought something powerful with it. And number 10, that was the hardest one for me, but it's the one that changed everything. So if this sounds good to you, let's get going. Number 1, I quit drinking wine to numb the pain. You know, for years it was my nightly ritual. It was how I softened the day, how I rewarded myself, how I coped when everything felt too much. But here's the truth, I wasn't drinking because I loved wine. I was drinking because I didn't want to feel. Whether it was grief, disappointment, exhaustion, guilt, I used wine to blur the edges of emotions I didn't know how to sit with. And from the outside, it looked harmless. I mean, everyone around me was doing the same thing. Girls' night, wine o'clock, no big deal. But you know, inside I felt disconnected, foggy, and a little hollow. See, letting go of nightly wine wasn't just about alcohol. It was about reclaiming clarity, confidence, and true connection. Now, if you've been wondering whether wine is helping or holding you back, I've created a 4-week wine pause journal to help you explore that gently and honestly, and I'll pop the link below. So number 2, I quit worrying about my grown kids. I used to believe that worrying was part of being a good mum, that if I stayed up all night running through the worst case scenarios, I was loving them well. But the truth, constant worry was draining me and it wasn't helping them. And you know, it took me years to realize that my job isn't to rescue, fix, or micromanage their lives. My job is to trust that I raised them well and let go of the guilt for not being able to protect them from everything. You know, there truly is peace in trusting. There's freedom letting them figure things out, even if it's messy. And there's healing in remembering that I'm still allowed to live my life fully, even when they're struggling. So number 3, I quit saying yes to things I didn't want to do. Now, how many times have you said yes and immediately regretted it? I used to say yes out of habit or out of guilt, because I didn't want to let anyone down, even if it meant putting myself last. And then one day I realized I was betraying myself by being nice. Now, if I don't want to, I don't do it. No long-winded excuses, no apologies, and definitely no guilt. Saying no isn't rude, it's self-respect. It's giving yourself the gift of energy, time, and space for what actually matters. And you know what? The world doesn't fall apart when you say no. It actually gets quieter, calmer, and kinder. Number 4, I quit watching the news constantly. You know, this one actually was easy to let go of. See, I thought I was just staying informed by watching the news, but I was actually feeding my fear. Every day the news reminded me that the world was broken, people were cruel, and things were spiraling out of control. So I'd start my mornings anxious and I didn't even realize why. I decided that peace in my home mattered way more than knowing everything awful that had happened in the world. And now I might watch a little news or I'll skim the headlines. But that's it for me. And guess what? The world keeps spinning, but my nervous system is finally breathing again. Number 5, I quit minimizing my own needs. I used to push through everything. Even if I was tired, I'd keep going and I'd power on through, ending up emotionally spent and still smiling. See, I didn't realize that I was teaching my body that I didn't matter. But now I check in. I rest when I need to. I eat nourishing food and I say no thanks or I'm not available today, and I mean it. See, this isn't selfish, it's honesty, because no one is coming to save us, so we have to stop waiting for permission to take care of ourselves. Number 6, I quit trying to control everything. You know, I thought control meant safety. If I planned every detail, anticipated every reaction, kept everything tidy, I wouldn't be blindsided. But life doesn't work like that. Control was just anxiety in a nice outfit. These days, I let it be messier. I trust more. I breathe through the unknown, not perfectly, but more than I ever used to. And honestly, there's power in surrendering what was never mine to carry. Number 7, I quit running a business I'd outgrown. Now this one was gut-wrenching, I have to say. I'd built something I cared about, something that helped people, but deep down I knew I wasn't aligned with it anymore. I kept pushing out of obligation, but the joy was gone, and letting go felt like failure until I realized I wasn't quitting, I was evolving. And honestly, the version of me who stepped forward, she's braver, softer and more aligned than ever. And sometimes growth looks like walking away. Number 8, I quit judging my aging body. Every line, every sag, every spot I used to see as a problem, now I see them as proof that I've lived. I've laughed, I've cried, and I've carried weight I didn't deserve, and I realized what no longer serves me. And my body has been my home through it all. So I make sure now, more than ever, to nourish it, move it, and I've stopped trying to shrink it. Because we deserve to take up space and show up authentically at every age. Number 9, I quit pretending to be strong all of the time because it sucked. You know that voice that says, don't cry, hold it all together, be strong. I used to live by that, but strength, it's knowing when to lean in. It's allowing softness, reaching out when it's hard. It's being honest and saying, I'm not okay. So now when I feel something, I feel it. I cry, I journal, I meditate, and I talk to someone, because healing isn't holding it back, it's letting it out. And number 10, I quit ignoring my spiritual needs. For me, this was the hardest one because I'd gotten so good at doing that I'd forgotten how to be. So I made a decision. I made space for quiet mornings, journaling, meditation, just being with myself and the universe again. And in the stillness, I found everything I've ever been searching for. Not more to do, but more of me to come home to. And that's such a beautiful thing. So these are just my 10 things, but maybe one of them stirred something in you. A whisper, a nudge, maybe a me too. You know, you don't have to quit everything overnight, but maybe today you can let go of one thing that is no longer serving you. So tell me in the comments, what's one thing you quit or you want to quit that helped you to live a happier life after 50? I'd love to hear it. Oh, and if wine has become your emotional crutch, please check out my 4-week wine pause journal. It's a gentle, empowering guide to help reconnect you with what you really need. And if this resonated, please like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more conversations like this, because midlife isn't the end, it's the beginning of something powerful. So let's reset together.